Hey, Classy Career Girl Network. It's Anna Runyon. I'm here. In case you don't know who I am, I'm the founder and CEO of ClassyCareerGirl.com. And we are just logging on to chat with you guys today. Our topic is all about how to start and grow a business, and it's really going to be informal. As most of you guys know, I did a webinar a couple days ago, and that was very to a T. We had the slides, we had everything, and today I just really want to be a lot more informal, a lot more relaxed, and answer your questions and just help you guys out. So basically apply what you've been learning on our blog and on the webinar and really help. Oh, John's making like weird noises. Okay, so he said I was shaking the table, so we don't want to shake the table. So let me know if you're here. Tell me where you are watching from and let us know if you have any questions whatsoever. We had a few questions come in beforehand. I know I didn't give you guys much warning about this one. I just let you guys know this morning, but hopefully it was a good time. It's kind of like that Friday afternoon. I was like, no one's really going to be working on Friday afternoon. We should definitely do it around. So I'm in San Diego, so it's 2 p.m. here. So we're winding down the work week. It looks like John, of course, is with us, and we have Carolina Kowalska. Welcome. Love to hear you guys more about like what your plans are, if you're starting a business, what the business is, and if you have any questions whatsoever. Let me know if you were on our webinar this past week too. We did a webinar on the 5 phases of going from employee to entrepreneur. So I would love to hear if you guys were able to make that webinar. If you weren't able to make it, we do still have the recording up, and it's going to be playing. You can get the recording through Sunday. So if you didn't get a chance to join us live, you can go to www.classycareergirl.com/success path. So before we get into the Q&A, I do want to give some like administrative stuff. First of all, huge shout out to everyone in our network. I love checking in there all the time because I love seeing you guys help out each other. And that's really what my mission at Classy Career Girl is all about, is really women helping women. And I am one person, so there's only so much I can do. And so that's really my whole goal, is being able to create this community for you guys to be able to connect and help each other out and meet up in person and, help each other get jobs and network and all that stuff. Looks like we have Sarah with us. Hi, Sarah. It is. It's the first time you're with us live. So that's awesome. I feel like I'm always talking to you, but you're not able to catch us live. It looks like Olga is with us as well. Sorry about the noise. There might be some people coming behind me, but that's okay. We'll make it work. That's why I have the headphones on too, because I want to make sure you guys have the best audio that we can get. So big shout out and congratulations and thank you for being here with us in Classy Career Girl Network. We actually just over the past couple weeks passed 3,000 members of our community here, the Classy Career Girl Network. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to meet you guys. I try and jump in there as much as I can to get to know all of you guys and answer questions too. So continue to support one another, continue to help each other. A big, bigger shout out to Rachel Corpus, who is our manager here, community manager of the Classy Career Girl Network. And huge shout out to her. Tell her she's doing awesome, by the way. The next time you see her in the Facebook group or just in the comments below, give her a big shout out, tag her, and tell her that she is awesome, because she is, right? She's helping us with this community and make it the best that it can be. Carolina says, congrats, thank you. Yeah, but it's all you guys. So big shout out to you guys. Big shout out to Rachel for helping us and for staying on top of all of our weekly threads and answering your questions. Hi, Billy. Nice to talk to you. Rachel is with us. Rachel, you missed it. Daniela is here. Hi from Wales. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Wales, the UK. Rachel, you missed it. I was just giving you a huge shout out because we haven't done one of these Facebook Lives in a while. So I wanted to give Rachel a shout out for being our community manager here in the Classy Career Girl Network and doing an awesome job. I wish you were with me here in Coronado, Rachel. I've actually we got to meet Rachel. She's actually comes in and out of San Diego too. So, but we're not in the same location right now. But huge shout out to Rachel. Thank you for all you do here. Thanks for helping us create an amazing community here. I was just saying that we just passed over 3,000 members. And so this community is about you guys. Anna, welcome. Anna just joined us too. This community is about you guys helping each other, supporting each other, getting your questions answered and jumping in and helping others as well. So, anytime you need it, post a question. You can always ask for help. It's a safe place, and there's plenty of there's amazing women in here. And jump in, ask other people, and hopefully, we're still working on growing the group and putting some more stuff into place too. Rachel and I have some great ideas for the future. Rachel has really good ideas. So we'll be putting more awesome things together for this group as we continue to grow. And of course, we want to put together some in-person stuff as well. So hopefully you guys can connect with people that are in your same location too. So let's get started. I think I have a couple more admin announcements that I wanted to do. First of all, Rachel put together a resource guide. So that is in the files section of the Classy Career Network Facebook group. And it's amazing. It has if you're job searching or if you're starting a business or if you don't know what career you want yet, Rachel's put together all of the articles and free stuff that we have at Classy Career Girl, put it on one nice little document. So she is helping me stay organized, and it's all there for you guys. So whatever you're kind of looking for or needing at that moment, definitely check out the resource guide in the files section. And if you can't find it, Rachel can just direct you to it too. So definitely check that out. So I wanted to say that. I also wanted to say thank you guys for contributing to the Classy Career Girl blog. We've had a lot of guest posts coming in. Right now, we're a month out, so we have a lot of guest posts, but I am trying to plan all the way through the end of this year so that we don't have to worry about it every single day. So please keep submitting those. We really want to feature you guys on the blog. So a lot of you guys have amazing advice and tips and things you want to share, and that the blog is really where you can do that. And so I want to give you guys all a chance to really share your advice and everything and to help other women too. So if you are interested in guest posting, we had 50 people. I wrote a one little update saying help needed a couple weeks ago, and 50 of you responded saying that you wanted to help write a post for Classy Career Girl. So I was so just thankful after that, and so honored that you guys want to contribute and make Classy Career Girl blog just a one amazing place for you guys all to share your resources and your help and your support, and then find other support there too. So it's all, it looks like Lexi is with us. Welcome, Lexi. It's all awesome. So if you still want to contribute a post and you want us to get it up for the rest of this year, 2016, make sure you go to the classycareergirl.com site, go to the About section. If you just click on About, there's a drop down, and that will take you to our guest contributor guidelines. A lot of people were asking, what kind of topics do you want? Does this apply? Does this not apply? So everything on that page, there's a ton of ton of topic ideas I put on that page. So if I could write 24/7, those are all of the articles I would write, but I don't have time to write 24/7. So that's why I'm asking for help. So if you have ideas, most likely it's something that would fit. Obviously, we don't put promotions on the blog. We don't, there's some things that don't apply, but if it is going to help women out, we would love to see it. Erin is with us. Welcome, Erin. Awesome. I love seeing all these familiar faces from CRP, which reminds me, Corporate Rescue Plan. If you don't know about Corporate Rescue Plan yet, it closes on Sunday. So kind of the topic we're talking about today, we're talking about starting and growing a business. So our membership community that helps you do that, go from employee to entrepreneur, it's called the Corporate Rescue Plan. It's going to close on Sunday for the rest of the year. So this is kind of one of the first times we've actually closed the doors, but we really want to serve our current members as much as we possibly can. So that's kind of why we are now closing the doors, so we can focus on our current members. So if you are interested in that, you can learn more at www.corporaterescueplan.com. So that's my warning to you guys. Anna says she's listening on her Bluetooth in the car. Awesome. No accidents, nothing allowed, no typing, nothing like that, Anna. But that's really cool. I always listen to podcasts, and I have one of my mentors too. He does daily Facebook Lives, and I've been listening to him while driving as well. But I wait till, so here's the trick, Anna, which I don't think I want to tell you this because then you might hang up, but I actually wait till he's finished with the Facebook Live so I can watch from the very beginning, because it always seems like I catch him like in the very middle of his Facebook Live. So I'm kind of like, I like to watch them all together, not like chopped up. But you caught me at the beginning. We haven't even started the Q&A, so you're in a good spot, but no typing. Rachel says, drive safe, Anna. Okay, so we're all asking you to drive safe. Okay, so I think those were all of the administrative things that I wanted to share with you guys. If I missed anything, Rachel, just comment and let me know. But I think that's all of the Classy Kugel Network updates that I wanted to share with you guys. Of course, just one final thing too, we are all about your feedback and everything like that too. So if you have ideas or anything that, might help make our community even better in the Classy Kugel Network, just tell Rachel so she can implement them. Okay, so let's move on to the Q&A section of the Q&A about starting and growing a business. So we had one question came in beforehand, so I will start with that. But if you are listening or watching, and if you have a question, just comment with the question, and I will get to that. So let's start with Shandy. I don't think Shandy is with us, but she said right before this, she said, "Hi, Anna. I know, okay, let's see here. I want to get my nonprofit consulting business going and get some projects and contracts under my belt while I'm still working, but I have no idea where to go to start looking for them. I still have some work to do on my mission and plan, and I'm confident I can use my network to find these gigs locally when ready. But in the meantime, I'd like to see what organizations are looking for and learn more about how these projects and contracts tend to be structured. I appreciate whatever guidance you can offer. Thanks." Okay, so one of the most important things that I did when I was starting in a business, and when I was just getting my MBA, I thought I wanted to go into corporate consulting. So I did look into the nonprofit route, kind of similar to what it looks like you're doing. And what I realized is how important it is to go in there offering as much free stuff as you can, because my guess, and I know you're looking for contracts and you're looking for proposals and you're looking for all the ways that they're going to come after you, but honestly, my guess is that you're going to have to go after them, and you're going to have to show them why you would benefit their company or their nonprofit. So one of the most important things I think you can do is offer them any sort of consulting or free work or anything for them to be able to see your value and the benefits that you provide, because most likely, it's like someone said this in CRP the other day, like my ideal customer doesn't know what they don't know. Like, they don't know how much they need me, but they really, really need me. So I think the only way that you can really show them how much they need you is by going in there and actually working with them. And maybe it's short term, maybe it's kind of like a volunteer, or it's an internship or apprenticeship, where they can actually see the value that you provide. And then when it's over, they're like silly not to hire you, right? Because they know that they need you. So I think that is a key strategy to start implementing and using when you start to build up your expertise and your brand. Yeah, Erin said, "Yep, that was me." I knew it was it was one of you guys that just joined recently. So they don't know what they don't know. So you have to go in there and start working with them and telling them what they should know. And it could be as simple as just like a coffee date where you start telling them all the information that you know and what they should be doing, and kind of showing your expertise. And I think in the beginning, it's really, really important, because you don't have like the testimonials and the website and all that stuff. So they're relying more on you to show them what you can do for them. And I think this so much more now, especially because I've had interns and I've had apprentices, and like we've hired the ones that are awesome and amazing. And it's like, I never would have hired them just from the very beginning, but they worked for us so long and they put in so many hours and are just like working their butts off and showing me the value of what they do. And now it's like, oh, I don't want that person to ever leave me. Like they can't. And so I hire them. And so I think that's kind of like the same thing when you're going out after those like nonprofits or those bigger companies. So I think it's really thinking about who needs your help, like what problem are you solving, and what work can you do for them, going in there and seeing what they need. you can look. So I know you were looking for like ways to see what's available. I think I already said that. Like, I really don't think you're going to see, especially for nonprofits. So my experience working for a nonprofit, because I did a consulting project for a nonprofit when I was getting my MBA. And my experience is that they were way even behind like corporate as far as like organizational stuff and implementing things, and that's kind of what I was working with them on, is improving their processes and their organizational development. So I really don't think they're gonna have like, you could look on like Craigslist. That's how I found that job opening. Like, maybe there's some like job postings that they have out there, like if they were looking for an organizational development person or a social media person or something like that. But usually you can also tell by their website. Like, maybe you can see, I'm not quite sure exactly what type of consulting you're going to do for nonprofits, but maybe you can see by their website like where they're lacking, so that you can come in and tell them, hey, I noticed this on your website. I did that a couple times too, because when I started my business as well, I've started a lot of different businesses until I figured out the one that was really going to click. But for a while there, I was doing social media consulting, and I was helping. My niche was career coaches, and I was helping career coaches build their social media branding and their websites. And the one thing I did was I found people's websites, and I started emailing them and contacting them and telling them, like, for free, how I thought they could improve their social media or their branding or their website, like little stuff, just giving like tips and pointers. And it worked. Like, a few people asked for meetings with me and asked for my proposal for them because of just like giving out the free information. And then I sat with them and I met with them for a while, telling them like everything I knew, just providing value. I mean, that's what we're all about, is just providing as much like great free stuff as we can, so you just develop that know, like, and trust factor, because they're going to work with people that they know, like, and trust. Erin says, I'm about to write my first blog post. How important is it to choose just the right topic, or do I just get something out there to start? Yeah, in the beginning, you're just going to get something out there to start. So yeah, it's important that those first few blog posts, you have maybe like at least three blog posts going before you start telling people about your blog. But so there's two types of blogs. There's like the personal blog where you're just writing about your blog, your life, like what you're learned, like what you believe, and taking pictures of you and your family. That's one type of blog. You're telling your story. And then the other type of blog is really one that's centered on starting a business. And so that's why it's important when you are starting a business and you are creating your blog, it is important to know, like, okay, what are you going to be selling long term? Like, what is your product or your service going to be? And I'll tell you, because I know you're in Corporate Rescue Plan. So creating your website and your blog is in phase 3, which is that hustler phase. And before the hustler phase, we talk about designing your ideal business in phase 1, and we talk about putting together your business plan in phase 2. So that's why it is really important to kind of know your plan and like what your long-term strategy is going to be before you start and get out there and start your website. Now, I am not the best example, because when I started my blog 6 years ago, it was just a personal blog. This was the problem. I didn't know it was ever going to be a business. So that's why just a personal blog sharing what I learned and what was happening in my life was okay for me, because I didn't plan to make it a business. So obviously we've changed a lot since then. So now the topics are a lot more geared to our products and services, and like and the type of market that I'm attracting. So you guys will see, like, you know who we're targeting on the blog. And I think that's important for you, Erin, is to know who your ideal client is. So who are you trying to attract to read your blog? Because that will help you figure out your topic. So for me, we're trying to attract professional women to read our blog. And they don't necessarily even need to be job searching yet or starting a business yet. We're just trying to create a blog where there's a bunch of great content for women, so that they're always coming back and seeing the content that we have. So the content necessarily right now isn't only about starting a business or job searching. Like we have exercise articles and health articles and like, makeup articles and clothing articles and everything, because that's who we're trying to attract. So, and then, obviously on the bottom or on the sidebar, there's plenty of other information about what our topics really are that lead into our business. So I think it's okay to write topics that you're excited about, and to share your story as well. That's something that's really important to me. I think we're going to do a kind of like a behind the scenes here. We're working on something for November to start sharing your story of when you started up your business. And so that's a huge, huge thing for me, is to share your story, because I think people relate to that more, and people can kind of see who you really are. Like, you guys know Classy Career Girl, that's great. It's our brand, it's our blog, but there's me behind it, right? There's an actual person, and I have a whole story of how it got to be where it is today. So there is something personal about that. So maybe there's a way your first blog post, Sarah, could be something, that is your story, that makes you unique and qualified to serve your clients. But it's like some story that relates to kind of maybe their frustrations that they're facing, your clients facing, or something like that. But I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like these days, posts are posts and they go up, and I'm not too much of a perfectionist about them, because there's always tomorrow's post, and then there's always next week's post, and the old posts go down and down and down. So don't worry too much about keeping it perfect. You'll want to look at those later and say, hey, that was my first blog post. Like, we can go back to the very beginning here and look at, I think it was like March 24th, 2010. My very first post, it was like, I think it's called About Anna. So it's like, hi, my name is Anna.
Who am I?
It's called Who Am I? And it was just all about me. So, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. So, John is telling me to move my hair because it's getting in the way. Okay, is that better? Okay, I think I answered, so let me know if I answered your question. Okay, we have another question from Daniela. She says, Anna, I'm a creative writer. I remember we were going back and forth on the Facebook group earlier today. She said, I already have a website and blog. My intention is to transform it into a business for creative writing for well-being, with online courses and articles on topics such, and then it stops. So, Danielle, I didn't get the rest of your questions. You got to keep typing, press return. So I will tell you guys that's something very similar to how we grew Classy Career Girl. Like, it did start, just sounds like what you have right now. Like, it's a blog, and it started there, and that's really what attracted thousands of readers, is just because it was this daily blog, and I was very consistent about writing something once a week. And then once I graduated and I had more time, I started the blog when I was working full time and going to business school at night. But once I graduated from business school, I had those evenings back. So then I started picking up the pace on publishing articles. But that's where people started connecting with me personally, is because they saw that there was a person behind this blog. And so I would say, it was 2 years into blogging is when I sold my first online course. And so, and I told a story about this on the webinar the other day. I sent out an email to, maybe there was like 100 people on my list, like very, very small. But sometimes small lists can be better, because those 100 people, they were those first readers. So they really, really connected with me. And so, so one person joined from that random email. I had it buried in like the 4th paragraph. I sent the email right before I went to work, and just didn't think anything of it. And I was like at work, and I saw like on my phone, like an order from PayPal came in. So that was like totally unexpected, but I hadn't created the course. So I had to actually go back and actually create the course because someone bought it. So let's see. So it sounds like, Daniela, I think that you are in something similar. So you had you had the website, now you want to make it a business. So I love that. I love that you have the foundation, you have the website. Now it's kind of like making more of like your online sales funnel work. So she says, let me read her whole question again so I don't miss it. Hi, Shar. Looks like Shar. We have two Shars. So Shar Stackle is in CRP, but this is Shar Reinhardt. Welcome. Okay. And so I was talking about in the beginning about how we're taking guest contributors for the blog, and you are one of them. I know I just ran across one of your other articles. So big shout out to Shar for writing our guest articles on Classy Career Girl. Okay, so Daniela says, my intention is to transform her website and blog into a business of creative writing for well-being with online courses and articles on topics such as bereavement, weight loss, anxiety, and empowering women. Do you think it's a viable idea for a business? Okay, so with online courses and articles. So I think your articles are going to be what attracts people to your blog, to your website. And then you're going to come out with online courses. I would just be very focused on what the online course is going to be. So your topics, and it's fine to have blog topics, I think, that are like broad. So you have bereavement, weight loss, anxiety, and empowering women. I would just make sure that when you come out with your online course, that you're probably just going to target one of those. Something where there's they can start. So courses are great if you can really get them to a result by the end of the course. So I would look at all of your topics there and figure out, okay, what's one thing that I can get them to the result in like 5 weeks or 6 weeks? Like there's a start date and there's an end date, because then people can really make progress. You don't want to have a course and it ends and they're like, okay, I'm still stuck in the same situation. Like my whole goal of every course we have is to really get people from the beginning to the end and actually make progress. And then obviously we also have 2 membership sites too. So that the membership sites are different because those are really, really long things that we're helping people grow through. So for instance, like finding your dream job is our program, Love Your Career Formula. Well, that one is not necessarily a 5-week thing, right? There's other people promising a 5-week get hired promise, but we don't do that. So that's where it comes like if it's like something that's going to be a longer term, then that might be more of like a group coaching program, maybe like a 3-month or a 6-month, or something that's more like a membership site where they pay by month. But the courses are really important if there's like something you're going to walk them through in like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something where there's a start and that you can actually show something at the end. Like, so for instance, like an idea I've thought of, which I don't know if I'll do, is like creating your business plan in 5 weeks. So that's something from the very beginning. You don't have a business plan, but then by the time you leave the course, you actually will leave, with that business plan completed. There's something at the end. So ask me another question, Daniela. I hope I answered that. But we can dive deeper if you want to dive deeper onto like one of those topics. Empowering women, that's I think your blog is a great place to do that. But I don't know about a course idea for empowering women. You'd have to actually be able to show them what the result would be by taking that course. Like there has to be some reason for them to take that course. But your other ideas could by far definitely be course ideas. So for sure, that's a viable idea for a business, for sure. Okay, Erin said, you definitely answered my question and gave me an idea. Awesome, I love it. Target audience is small business, so I can talk about the stressors of that and what you need to be concerned with as a new business owner. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. So this is actually a great point, Erin. So before you start, I would write down a ton of ideas. So one of the reasons that I was able to stay so consistent in the very, very beginning of blogging at least once a week, if not many more times a week, is that I had a ton of ideas. Like before I even opened up my website, I had like this huge long Excel list of potential like content ideas. So I had like big themes. So I had like maybe 5 or 6 like themes about what I wanted the blog to be like, or themes of things that I would talk about. Like one was job search, one was fashion, one was etiquette. I think those were like the big ones in the beginning, and balance. Yeah. So we were a Classy Career Girl, a girl on a search for happiness, success, and balance. So everything I kind of put on the blog revolved around those things. So everything had to be related to happiness, success, and balance, and like job search, etiquette, and networking, like in the very beginning, and fashion. Those were like my things. And so then below that on that Excel spreadsheet, I would just list a ton of ideas, so that, and I still do this today, like whenever I have an idea for a post or a course or like any sort of content idea, I'm always just writing it down. And then when it comes time to actually like write it, like when I wake up in the morning, if I feel like writing, I'm not thinking of ideas. I have like this long list of ideas that I can pull from so I can get writing right away. That's why I love like writing prompts for sure. Okay. Okay, so we gave Erin a blogging idea. Okay, so Erin, you have to share with us what the post when you're done with it. Target audience is small businesses that I can talk about the stressors of and what you need to be concerned with as a new. Okay, small business. Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, and so talking about the stressors, but then talking about potentially maybe a stress that you had or you've seen in another client or you've seen working for another business. Like, so anytime you can provide those like stories and examples. Other blog posts that are really good are like case studies. So anytime you can show like, someone else's progress of going from where they started, like that course idea that we were talking about, Danielle, starting from the beginning and getting to the end. So doing that case study of like, okay, what happened to them? So it's not all you. That's really great when you can do that too. Daniela says, brilliant, thanks Anna. I'll be putting on my thinking and planning cap. Awesome. I hope you do. Yeah, I have an article on online courses. I'll make sure and share it with you after this, but do it for sure. Online courses, that's what I first did, and that's what really changed everything for me when I knew that I wanted to teach. But as a professor, because I was teaching as a professor at DeVry University, and I just realized like I could impact and teach to so many more women using the internet than I was teaching at the university. And as well as I was teaching, a lot of the students that were there didn't want to be there. And so it made me realize, okay, I want to start creating courses for women who really want to be in my class. Like that's the type of class I want to have. Okay, let's see. Anna okay, she's home now. Okay, we won't yell at you if we can't yell at Anna if she asks questions because she's home now. She's no longer driving. Okay, she has a question for us. Okay, when you received your first $99 PayPal payment, it was actually $97. That's how much I remember that, right? When you received your first PayPal payment, $97, when did you start worrying about taxes and liability? If I'm accepting payments, should I declare myself as an LLC? Okay, so everything came through PayPal, so it is a really easy place to start. As soon as we started getting, about that time when I started making, anytime you're bringing in money, there's always that worry of like, okay, I got to figure this out. So PayPal was really simple in the beginning because you can collect money from other people. But as soon as it kept getting like month by month, I was continuing to get money. I was like, okay, I need to figure this out. But for me, it was like I really wanted that business bank account. I really wanted to separate the business from personal just because we were still figuring our finances out, and I wanted to quit my job as well, and so I needed to show John that I was making enough money to quit. So there was like so many reasons why I just needed to separate it all so I could think more like a business owner. So I think after it started coming in consistently, and I knew that this was going to continue to grow, because if you're just getting a payment here and there and it's not a real business, I have some of my friends are like kind of doing their business on the side and they're not worried about taxes because they really don't have plans to grow a business. They just want to do it, for fun here and there. And so that's why, they're not worried about getting it structured properly. But once you're committed and once you really know that this is the direction that you're headed, then for me, I needed to get that business bank account. So in order to get the business bank account, the checking account, I needed to have paperwork done with the city of San Diego saying that filing as a sole proprietor. So that's something you might want to look into. Anna, you may, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not providing advice, but I just tell you how I did it. In the beginning, I was just a sole proprietor, so the income that we received was just mixed in with our personal taxes, so it kind of all filed together. But I then was able to get the business checking account so I could separate, our income and expenses from the business income and expenses. And so if I was going to Target and buying something for the business, I would use the business credit card, and then it didn't have any effect on our personal budget or anything like that. So, okay. So yes, when I got the course, we did the sole proprietor. So look into that. Definitely don't just jump into LLC. Do some research online. I mean, I know you could look into LegalZoom.com. I've had many clients use that one. But eventually, obviously, we did move over to the LLC. We are Classy Career Girl International LLC. Don't you love how that sounds? International. So see, we are international. We have people from everywhere listening today. So if you guys haven't told us where you're listening from, please do. I know we had Daniela from the UK. Okay, so yeah, I would once you're starting to get the income coming in, I would look into registering either as a sole proprietor or an LLC and opening up that business checking account. Okay, Aaron says, do you need an office phone number or is it just a cell phone okay? Cell phone, totally okay. I've never had, clearly, I don't really, I'm always somewhere a little bit different. So cell phone is how I've always done business. So I wouldn't worry too much unless you're going to have an office and only conduct business in that office. Because there's ways that you can have it forward to your personal email too. I think it depends on your situation. If you're, and it goes back to thinking about designing what your ideal situation is for your business too. Like, what is your ideal business? Is it to have, an office where, you're sitting at a desk and that's where you're taking calls, and then, you shut down at the end of the day and you go home, or, you go somewhere else and you can if I had an office phone, I could shut that off. But, we kind of just combine the office phone, and that's better for deductions too, because I do business on my cell phone, then it's a business expense. I'm not an accountant either. I'm not a tax person either. Don't take my advice. I just share what we have done in the past. So I think your cell phone is totally fine. Just make sure it has a professional voicemail. That's huge. I have done a lot of phone calls to people and listened to their voicemails, and it's not professional at all. So just make sure that your ideal client would feel comfortable leaving a message and wouldn't be turned off by your message, no music, none of that. Okay, sorry for the noise. Okay. Anna says, Aaron, I use the app Convoy, and there are others similar. It gives you a second number but uses your cell phone so you can tell people you have a business phone. Awesome. We'll have to look into that. And it also is different depending on how you conduct business too. So we do less phone calls, but in the beginning when I was on the phone all day, I was still just using my cell phone. So I liked that I could just, I could take those calls wherever I was. So, and then John figured out how to get a ton of minutes so that we didn't have to worry about going over, but that's something you want to look into as well. Okay, 25 comments so far. Awesome. Oh, Anna says $97. Yeah. When you saw your first thing, you remember it exactly. You know how much that was. It was $97. Okay. Daniela says, another question I have, how and where would I look for and find potential typical clients? Okay, so first of all, you need to know who they are. I would first start to really draft out who your ideal clients would be, who are those clients you enjoy working with and who can actually pay you the money that you need. And then I would start talking with them. I would start interviewing them. I would start, even if it's not your potential client, I would look in all of your social media networks. LinkedIn is a big one. We don't realize how many people we're connected with on LinkedIn, and start messaging people. I'm a huge fan of surveys. I'm a huge fan of interviewing potential clients and asking them questions. It's something we're going to cover in Corporate Rescue Plan next week. If you guys join us, remember, doors close on Sunday. So check out corporaterescueplan.com if you'd like to get into that training about figuring out who your ideal client is. But the first work really is figuring out who that would be and figuring out who needs what you have. So Danielle, I would look, because you want to create your online courses. So first I would figure out, okay, which of those ideas were you going to run with to create your course? And then figure out who that course would help. Like, who needs what you have? Who needs, the information that you're providing in that course? And I'd start listing out the type of people, kind of figuring out who your ideal client is, putting together like your client avatar. So when I first started, I had, I just read it the other day, I made up a name. I had a name for this woman who was my client avatar. I knew how much she made in her job, what she did for a living, how many kids she had, how old she was, and, really figured out like what her motivations were, what she was frustrated with. And so before I ever had one client, at least I had this client avatar who was like the ideal person who could benefit from working with me by coaching or in my programs. So I would look into who you know right now. We just had, and Mary Ellen's not here with us today, but she started looking at her contacts that she already has and started reaching out to them. And there was one woman that and she's in Corporate Rescue Plan. There was one woman that she always wanted to meet, and she was in the same location as she. So Mary Ellen reached out to her thinking, okay, she's gonna be like my mentor, because she's like way farther ahead with me. And Mary Ellen creates online courses, or she helps people create online courses. And so she reached out to this woman, thinking that the other woman would help her in her career and her business, right? So they started talking, they got on the phone, and by the end of the course, this woman had bought her course on how to create a course. So she was just like so excited afterwards, because she had reached out to this woman who she just wanted to get to know. She just wanted to meet and add to her network. And because she had that course to offer, because she had worked so hard to create that course and to put it into practice and be something that she knew her ideal client would want, she was able to make an offer at the end of the phone call and get the credit card information, and there she had her course sold. But that was not a sales conversation whatsoever. So I think ideas like that just kind of, so you never know who you might be talking to and who you might be meeting, but when you know who your client avatar is, then potentially you could be talking to them anywhere, right? So looking through your social media connections, figuring out who you already know, who you can survey, who you can interview would be my first suggestion for you, Daniela. Okay, Billy says, do you have any resources to learn more about the legal aspects of owning a business? Okay, so we're going to do a training on this soon in Corporate Rescue Plan. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, and we do have a section on legal stuff, like a bunch of like sample templates and resources. I think you're in CRP, right, Billy? I think I just welcomed you in. So there is a legal section in phase 3. So once again, so there's the 5 phases of going from employee to entrepreneur. So if you're just starting, which I know a lot of you guys are, you're in like the first 2 phases, which is the planner phase and the designer phase. And so those 2 phases, the legal stuff I don't even have in our content until phase 3, which is like when you're out there hustling and you're, out there. So, it's not something that just based off my experience, it's not something that I want to hold anyone back. And I think it does. I think, not having a lawyer, not having a trademark, not having a copy, knowing what, pages to put on your website, I think all of that stuff holds people back too much. And so that's why it's not something like, just keep taking action and keep moving forward. And like, obviously, we have a lawyer that we work with now. And so, it's hard to find a good lawyer. I'm trying to think of who I could bring in to do a training in CRP sometime. So coming soon, maybe in 2017, we will bring in someone to talk to in CRP. But for now, for resources, I would check out LegalZoom.com. I think it's LegalZoom. Is it .com? I would check that out and just look more into phase 3 has kind of like I've outlined all the things that I've had to do with owning a business legal-wise, like all of the client agreements, all of the stuff to put on your website, like all that stuff is in the phase 3 section. Okay, Anna says, wow, thank you. That was very helpful about the money, sole proprietorship. I was looking online, but it wasn't clear. Yes, it's not always clear online. Sometimes, there's so much out there online. There's, so much content available now that it's, you don't even know what to search for, right? Okay. Hillary's with us. Hillary Hartling's in the house, another CRP member. Okay, Rachel, thank you, Rachel. Rachel just posted the link to Corporate Rescue Plan if you guys are interested. Let's see, we have Jenna just joined. Hi, Jenna. Jenna is extra special because she's actually in both of our programs, so she gets an A++ every time she comes on a Facebook Live. Daniela says, thank you. Billy says, yes, I'm in CRP, just thinking ahead, I'm in phase 1. Okay, good. So that's kind of what I thought. I think it's something you want to start thinking about and researching. So how to, check out LegalZoom, check out whether, so when I chose the sole proprietor in the very, very beginning, a bookkeeper advised me to do that. And that was good. That was good advice for the beginning. And then a bookkeeper as well told me that it was time to switch to the LLC too. So to me, bookkeeper is really, really important, especially when you have that income coming in, because they can help, guide you in making decisions about expenses and money. And not only that, but you have really nice reports to look at, so you can kind of monitor, your profit and your loss and how you're doing. And that was one of the first key hires that we made at Classy Career Girl is our amazing bookkeeper, Carol. Okay, let's see. She was on our podcast. I don't know. If you're interested in bookkeeping, let me know, and we'll investigate what podcast number she was on. She's amazing. Okay, Hillary says, hi, Anna. Hi, Hillary. Okay, so we have no more questions, but I had some that came in earlier. So if you guys, how are we doing on time? Oh, we've gone for a while. Oh, okay. See, this is how you know you're doing what you love is literally it's been 45 minutes and it feels like it's been a minute. I feel like I've been doing this for a minute. So it probably seems like 45 minutes for you guys, but it literally has seemed like I've been on here a minute. Anna says, that was a great podcast with the bookkeeper. Yes, it was. If you just, can you find out what podcast number that was? With Carol, her name was Carol LeBlanc. She's amazing. And yeah, the bookkeeper was amazing. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, I'll cover, I really wanted to cover this question because I think this will apply to a lot of you guys. And we'll just kind of high level because it kind of dives into your sales funnel. Is this question, so Allison wrote a few days ago on our Classy Career Facebook group. She just started a new venture selling Usborne books and more kids books. I've never done anything direct sales like this before, so I'm learning as I go. I want to find a page like this one to learn how to network and expand my business. I'm quickly working my way through my close friends and family, but I'm afraid once I make sales, or at least ask all of them, that I'll get stuck with no one else to go for business. I'm just wondering what others do to reach out to people when your leads come to dead ends. Okay, so I think this so this is really important because I know when we're just starting, we go to all of our friends and family first. And I have a funny story about that because Mr. John, he didn't know I was going to say this, but he used to sell Cutco knives.
I was just thinking of that story.
And he sold Cutco knives to his entire family, and they all bought him. And then he quit the second that he had sold to all his family because he didn't actually want to sell to anyone outside of his family. So this is why it's really, really important. If you do want to grow your business, you can't just rely on your friends and family. And for me, like I never really wanted to go. Well, one of my best friends was my best friend, and I think that I shouldn't say scarred me. She's not listening, but it didn't work. It didn't work so well. She's still my best friend, but she's not a client, and she's not the type of woman that she's not an ideal client. So, but she's my best friend. So I think that from the very beginning has made me realize, okay, like I don't want to grow a business just with friends and family and like, inviting, I've never invited any of my Facebook friends to like Classy Career Girl page because I knew that they weren't really my ideal clients, and not only that, but they know Anna Runyon before Classy Career Girl, they know Anna Berger was my maiden name. They know me like at that point, and so I knew it would be really hard to change possible perceptions to get them to be clients in the beginning. And obviously, years later, a lot of them have become clients. There's many, that knew me back in high school now that are, in my programs or have taken my courses, and that's great. But it's not something I relied on to start my business. So, but I did rely on them for referrals. Like one of my best friend's sisters went through Love Your Career Formula. So I think that is important to start getting the word out with your friends and family, but not to rely on them for sales 100%. So that didn't answer your question because your question is then what do you do? Danielle's with us, Mastermind Lady, Mama Boss Mastermind. That's what me and Danielle are in together. Okay. Hey, you're up next. I haven't seen you do a Facebook Live. I'm putting Danielle on the hook to do a Facebook Live next. Okay, so we're going to talk, so simply like big picture to figure out how you cannot just rely on your friends and family is you really have to figure out like who your ideal customer is. And it's kind of what we were talking about before, really figuring out who needs what you have. And so if you're selling these kids books, putting together that client avatar, that picture of like who that person is that is going to buy these books for their kids. So for me, I could see, because I know my mom is watching Mila right now. Like I know without a doubt that grandmas would spend money on buying these books for their kids. And so if I was starting this type of business, that's who I would go after. I would start seeing how I could get in front of those grandmas who will just want to spoil their grandchildren, right? So first of all, it's figuring out how you're going to get leads. So how you're going to get in front of those people that need you. How are people going to find out about you? How are those grandmas, whoever your avatar is, going to find out about you? Maybe it's, through networking. Maybe it's going to an event. If you're targeting grandmas, it probably wouldn't be like Facebook, social media, and that's huge too. So we know you guys are on Facebook. There's like so many ads out there right now, but that's not the right strategy for everyone. Like some, the woman I was talking about, Mary Ellen, we realized her market she's targeting women over 40, and a lot of her market wasn't on Facebook. So really making sure how are people going to find out about you. You don't just have to stick to Facebook ads because you see all the Facebook ads, right? Like you have to really figure out and interview your ideal clients and like see what they're doing. Like, are they on social media, or are they going to these networking events, or are they so here's one for me. I know my mom took my daughter to the library today for like they do reading time and singing every Friday. So if I was selling these books, I would go to the library and see if I could do some sort of presentation or read one of these books in their class or while they're doing this project or something like that. So how can you get in front of them? So you're going to start collecting the leads, and then you want to turn them into prospects. And so that would be by figuring out how you can collect their contact information. So maybe, if I went to the library to read these books to the grandmas and their grandkids, well, then maybe afterwards I could have a drawing where they all have to enter and put their name and email in, some way. Oh, could you hand me the cord so I can charge it because it just popped up that we're low on battery. Probably meaning it's time to go, Anna. You talk too much. So figuring out how you can get their contact information and how you can then follow up with them afterward. So maybe that's their business card, maybe it's their email address so that you can put them into your email system and send them an email campaign afterward, and then leading them into maybe, selling them a product. So figuring out how you're gonna get in front of them, how they're gonna find out about you, how you're gonna get their contact information, and then the last one would be how you're gonna turn those prospects into sales. And so that would be, so for me, when I was just starting, I was doing a lot of sales conversations. So I was on the phone a lot, talking to people and hearing about their frustrations and their challenges and their dreams and their desires, and then telling them how I could help them, whether that was coaching or whether that, was one of my courses could help them. So you have to figure out that, like, how are you going to convert those people into sales? And I think it's kind of a misconception today that you can just do that through the online world. There's ways that you can do that. It's a lot easier, especially to sell something that's high dollar amount, to sell through a phone conversation, whether that's in person or on the phone. If you're selling something a little bit lower dollar amount, like right now we have a lot of like $7 boot camps that are happening, a lot of $7 courses. Like, obviously, I'm not talking to you on the phone to sell you something for $7, right? So that's a great example. The lower ticket, the lower dollar amount, the easier it is to sell something. So I hope that helps. Allison, I don't know if she's on. Let's see here. Danielle said, ha ha ha, Facebook Live for you. Anna says, homeschool groups too would be a great market for Usborne. Yes. Deedam is here. Hi, Deedam. How are you? Deedam is another CRP member, and she just did an amazing event last week, and she had some beautiful succulents. She had a party, and Deedam is also raising, tell me how much more money you have to go to your goal. So by the end of the year, she's building a school in Africa. We should post this in the Classy Krugerl Network group too. She's building a school in Africa and has I think about $3,000 left. She's raised like $20,000 so far, and she needs $25,000 by the end of the year. So you can give us an update in the comments, Needham. Okay, so those were the things that I wanted to cover. I am glad you guys joined me. We had a lot of great questions. So if you have any other questions that you'd like me to answer, I'll try and check in on the Classy Krugerl Network group. But really, I just wanted to check in with you guys and answer your questions. And Odin said, very good, $3,000 to go. She raised over $20,000. So Anna says, what part of Africa? I lived in Togo and worked in the schools. Would love to connect. Yeah, you guys should definitely connect. Two amazing women right there. Okay, ladies. I am going to sign off, but this is fun. So if you like this today, we do this every week in CRP, in our CRP private members group every Monday. So like I said, doors are closing to CRP on Sunday. We would love to have you guys join us. You can learn more at corporaterescueplan.com. And this is kind of the last time it's going to be open through the end of the year, because we put a lot of effort into serving our members and making sure that they're taken care of and getting everything that they need. So we would love to have you guys join us. So you are 100% welcome. Anna said, thanks for the Facebook Live. You're welcome. Deedam said, the school is in Ghana. Very cool. Yeah, you'll have to share pictures with us. Okay, ladies, it's been fun. Thank you guys. Deedam says, Corporate Rescue Plan is the best, and so are you. And what I love, too, because the women that we have in Corporate Rescue Plan, they all want to, like, make a difference in some way. Like, just that, Deedam, you're a great example. I think I brought you up on the webinar that we had the other day, too, is, like, there's, like, a bigger purpose and a bigger difference to make a difference and make an impact. And, really, if you look at, we just did our vision journals last week, and if you look at people's like visions and like what they want their lives to be when they quit corporate, or they quit their corporate and work full time on their business, there's always some sort of helping people that they want to do. There's always some sort of like making a difference, or like nonprofit that they want to support, or spending more time with their family members, or just there's always some bigger purpose. And that's why I love you ladies. I love everyone who's in CRP. So, okay, I'm officially going to stop talking, although it still feels like it's only been a minute, but now it's been an entire hour. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone. This was fun. See you guys later.